Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, summa alhamdulillah, wa kadzalika alhamdulillah. I'm Nifsa Hanipah Syafa'ad from the Faculty of Economic, majoring in Economic Education, International Class Program. In this opportunity, I want to speak about Omicron and global economic for material economic international. I support lecture Dr. Zul Afdal M.Pd, and my name 205304 and 6. Let's rewatch this video. Okay.
Sarah, thanks. Fed Chair Jay Powell will say in testimony before the Senate that the recent rise in COVID cases and the Omicron variant pose downside risks both to economic growth and to employment. He'll also say the new variant increases uncertainty about inflation. And a comment that sounds a little hawkish relative to this new virus and virus concerns. He says greater concerns about the virus could reduce people's willingness to work in person, which would slow progress in the labor market and intensify supply chain disruptions. Means he thinks it could be potentially more inflationary. Goes on to say the Fed will use its tools, by the way, to support the economy and the labor market and prevent higher inflation from becoming entrenched. Inflation, he says, is running well above our 2% longer run goal, and the factors pushing inflation will linger well into next year. Among those factors, labor slack, he says, is diminishing and wages are rising at a brisk pace, a potential sign of concern for the Fed chairman from that area. Supply and demand imbalances, he says, have contributed to the notable price increases, and he does expect inflation to move down significantly over the next year. On the economy, Powell's going to say the GDP appears on track to grow 5% this year, and labor market has continued to improve, but there's still ground to cover. Wilf?
Steve, thank you. We look forward to that testimony tomorrow. But the next meeting is what? Middle of December?
Middle of December. They have a couple weeks, Wilf, to sort of get more data on this variant. But I have to say, I thought he would be a little more circumspect. And the idea that a lot of economists said over the weekend that perhaps the Fed would not go to a faster taper in December. The idea that he sees a new variant and greater virus concerns as potentially inflationary maybe changes that calculus a little bit right now.
Okay. The current condition of the world can be said to be still not stable enough. The coronavirus has had the tremendous effect on the world economy. Plus the emergence of a new variant of development of the virus, namely Omicron, which spreads very quickly responding to the increase in cases from Omicron itself. Countries in the world have taken policies to produce and distribute the COVID-19 vaccine and booster vaccine. Okay, this policy is indeed a good step, but its realization, it was found that there was a delay in the production and distribution of vaccine, which result in the global economic recovery due to the coronavirus being hampered due to the policy of limiting activities that had to be carried out, including the restriction on economic activities, as some companies and industries were forced to be banned from operating. During the high Omicron case, as some companies and industries were forced to be banned from operating. During the high Omicron case, so the economic loss is the affect countries is quick large. That same is quite interesting to study because The process of economic recovery in the midst of pandemic that caused the global crisis is important to analyze in order to find out the cause of this take loss and find solution using partial analysis in the hope of improving the global economy and providing benefits for affected countries. Okay. Literature review according to World Bank Group 20 and 2022 and research slowing growth, rising risks. The global recovery is set to declare amid continued COVID-19. First up, diminished policy support and lingering supply bottleneck. The outlook is clouded by various downside risks, including new various variant and aggravated inflation expectation and financial stress. If some countries eventually require debt restructuring, the recovery will be more difficult to achieve than in the past. Climate change may increase commodity price volatility. Social tensions may heighten as a result of increase in inequality caused by the pandemic. This challenge underscored the need to foster widespread vaccination, ingest the bit-size stability, check climate change and inequality, and diversive economic activity. Okay, in APKL analyze the first identification of issue that is emergence of Omicron that threats global economic recovery. For A that positive, B positive, K positive, L positive mental recruitment. And identification in point 2 that slow spread of COVID-19 vaccination and booster dose. For criteria A positive, B positive, K positive, L positive, mental recruit. And identification of issue that is not maximal production of COVID-19 vaccine. For criteria A plus, criteria B plus, K plus, L plus qualified. And very fast development of Omicron variant A positive, B positive, K positive, L positive qualified. Okay, in USG analyze the issue slow spread of COVID-19 vaccination and booster dose. For criteria U or urgent, the point is 4. NS 4 and G 5. Okay, the total is 13 and rating 3. That maximal production of the COVID-19 Argent 4 S5 G5 information that is 14 and rating 2. And the rapid spread of the Omicron variant threats global economic recovery. For criteria U5, S5, and Q5 information that's 15 and rating 1. Rating origin. Okay, partial analyze cause of the problem. The first is distribution of COVID-19 vaccination and slow booster doses. And the occurrence of bad weather in several regions hamper the distribution, and the production of COVID-19 vaccine has not been maximal. And the rapid spread of the Omicron variant threats the global economic recovery and reducing support for prolonged supply bottleneck. And in partial analysis of the impact of issue, that Omicron can make threat of restriction on activities that hamper the economic sector, and threats of global economic recovery, large-scale corporate loss, and increase the risk of infection, including the new virus variant that is Omicron, and uncontrolled inflation expectation, financial pressure, and increase in inequality. In partial analyze solution, controlling the problem that is provide additional technology, human research, and basic material for the benefit or vaccine distribution, address climate change and inequality to deserve economic improvement. And analyze from me that with all threats that suppress the economic, the role of the government is to at least reduce the impact of pandemic. This new variant that is enough to shake the economic also need to be paired with a strong cell too, namely that booster vaccine. And the government needs to pay special attention here regarding production and distribution as well as its barriers so that unwanted impact can be minimized. And conclusion and suggestions for me that the government and the world community need to work hand in hand in eliminating this long pandemic, and strong discipline in maintaining health protocol will also have a good impact here. Okay, maybe until here my analysis about Omicron and global economy. If you have, I say thank you very much. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.